Hello. You're watching Large Buttered Popcorn. It's a podcast where me and my wife will just talk about the movies that we've seen this week in theaters and give our thoughts, our opinions, what we like, what we don't like. It's our second podcast this time, and yeah, anything you want to add?
What did we see this week? We saw The Revenant. They did a re-showing of it in IMAX, which is really good. For the 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it the 10th anniversary?
Yeah.
It was. We were both speaking at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Friday we saw Pillion finally came to theaters in the US, or especially in our area. And I've been waiting for that for feels like forever. And we saw How to Make a Killing. So a rather short week in terms of what we saw at the movies. We did see a couple of things the week before, if you've seen our other podcast in the description, it does say that was like a week later. It's because I've been really sick, so I didn't have a chance to edit it and stuff. So we skipped out on last week because we were both kind of still recovering from like the sickness that's been going around and everyone's been experiencing apparently. And yeah, just thought we'd talk about what we saw this week. So it might be a shorter podcast than the last one. Our last one was really long, or our first one was really long. So yeah, this one will probably be a bit shorter. What did we watch at home this week?
What did we watch at home?
We watched The Thing.
The Thing.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
The Thing was very good, yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice when a classic actually like lives up to the hype.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, okay.
And we also watched The Ugly Stepsister.
Ugly Stepsister, yeah. That was okay. I liked it. It was definitely interesting. It was its own thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we watched this week. So yeah, like I said, might be a shorter one this week, but we'll just jump straight into the first movie we're going to talk about, and that's The Revenant from 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So The Revenant is directed by Alejandro González Inarritu. And he's also known for directing Birdman from 2014, and he's also directing the upcoming movie Digger with Tom Cruise. The cast of this movie includes Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, Domhnall Gleeson, and Will Poulter. It won 3 Oscars for Best Director, Best Actor, obviously for Leonardo DiCaprio's performance, and Best Cinematography, and it won Best Film, Best Actor in a Leading Role, Best Direction, Best Cinematography, and Best Sound at the BAFTAs for that year.
Mm-hmm.
As well as an accolade of other awards that it won. It currently sits at a 3.9 on Letterboxd. I rated it a 3.5, and you rated it a 4.5.
I did. Yeah, it was very good. I'm not often the cinematography guy, but the movie was absolutely gorgeous to look at. I thought it was almost every other scene was a marvel to the eyes.
Yeah, it was both our first time seeing it. Kalani knew a little bit more. Obviously, I knew it was the only thing I really knew about it was that it was like based in the great outdoors, but I didn't really know like the story or like the timeline of it.
And you knew Leo won an Oscar for it.
And obviously Leo won an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I was kind of like going in completely blind to it.
Only thing I knew was that there was a bear that attacked him. That's all I really knew, aside from like Leo getting the Oscar and maybe the setting. It was a nice surprise. I didn't know what we were getting into. I didn't think it was gonna be like a kind of a story of like survival and revenge.
Yeah, and like, you know what a man is willing to go through to get revenge. And
first impression watching this movie, you know, I knew we got an Oscar, but very early in I was like, is this dude gonna die 30 minutes in?
It's like rough, like,
is this guy gonna die 30 minutes in?
It's just like gets attacked by people, gets attacked by animals.
Dude can't catch a break.
The landscape is harsh and cold.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just like one thing after another. Gets betrayed by his own people, his own team. So yeah, it's rough, but like Kalani was saying, it's a very visually stunning movie.
One of those very strength of the human condition kind of thing. Like, wow, people. Yeah. More than anything, there's an argument to be said about using natives as a backdrop for white man's trauma and all that. But I was pleasant. I enjoyed the representation and the presence of a lot of Native American culture at the forefront of this movie, and it wasn't just ancillary. It wasn't just a side thing. It was it was very core to the story. It was very core to the setting, and these people lived here, and these people lived here, and it's it's one of those things that's like one of the greatest kind of crimes of the travesties of the U.S. In history. But I really enjoyed seeing the Native American culture and people in this movie.
Yeah.
In a historical context.
Yeah, it's set in a very interesting time in like US history, and like you kind of forget that there was like that period of time where in between colonies being set up and the first steps of like the Europeans on American soil.
Yeah.
There's like it's an interesting time where it's like the real struggle of trying to find this place where they're gonna put their feet and figure out sort of how to exploit the land, how to make money from this new area, and exploring
this new frontier.
Yeah, like,
it's an underexplored period of time.
Yeah, like the Oregon Trail.
Yeah, it's underexplored in movies. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously we get you see the different groups of people. Like you also see not only like the English settlers, but you also see like French settlers.
The French are like dastardly in this movie. I don't have a single. This movie does not have a single good thing to say about the French.
But yeah, it was like a really interesting time and setting, and I can't imagine having to work for all that time. Not only like the actual people who went through that time, but also like the actors in this movie.
Oh my goodness, yeah. They were in that setting for real.
Having to like just spend all that time in the snow. I like hate the snow, I hate the cold, so it was, that's like a real nightmare situation. But hey, if you do it, you're in like one of the like most critically acclaimed movies of all time. Yeah. So it was really, it felt like something special to be able to see it in IMAX.
Yeah.
For the first time.
I always do end up enjoying a movie more if I do get to see it in IMAX. I know that, like, maybe if I saw it in regular format, it'd be just 4 stars, but I didn't, so it's 4.5.
Yeah, it's these like special formats. It's good to see not only new releases but old re-releases in them, especially when you're like seeing it for the first time.
It's cool to get the opportunity and have a few showings. As far as the movie, Tom Hardy played the main villain guy, Fitzgerald, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Fitzgerald is like, it's like he's like the epitome of the unhonorable guy, and he's like the villain of the movie, but I mean, dude just wanted to get paid. He wanted to get paid,
but like still he is like a piece of shit.
He's kind of a piece of shit, and he's like unequivocally the villain. But he says why he feels the way he does, why he does what he does. You understand the character pretty well. Very clear motivations, but still very, and especially in a movie where it seems like very there's a lot of honor. There's like, dang, you guys are stand-up folks. Will Poulter's character. Who played the captain?
Donald Gleason.
Yeah, the honorable guy, and very of the code kind of men, and then you have Fitzgerald, Tom Hardy's character, is very just like, I just gotta get paid. I want to go to Texas. I'm just trying to live.
He's just looking out for himself.
And it's hard not, and you sympathize with that because you see how barren, how harsh this place is. You see his scars. You see what he's kind of been through. He's like, I get it, but why'd you kill Hawk? Why did you do that?
Yeah, no. I guess it was just he was in his way.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You know, but he's not like he could convince Will Poulter's character to leave him and leave the situation and go get paid quicker than they were guaranteed.
And
whereas it was like a no deal to be able to convince Glass's son Hawk to do the same thing. So in a way, it was just better to get him out of the way. And that's unfortunately how he ends up dying.
Yeah. This I forgot what I was thinking for a moment, but like the captain should have never left Fitzgerald there. You know what he thought was the best course of action.
Yeah, that's why he was tell me that basically tried to get him to guarantee that he would bury him honorably and properly.
Yeah.
And the scene where he's because this is after Leonardo DiCaprio's character's been mauled terribly by a bear. So he's basically on death's door, and Fitzgerald is like, oh, I could put you out of your misery. We could end all this right now. All you need to do is blink. And Leonardo DiCaprio's character is basically non-verbal as it is after his attack, because he gets his throat slashed.
Yes. Even then, dude spends that was a long staring contest.
Yeah.
That was a long staring contest. That was not consent. And pivoting straight from that, Leo's performance, I was, he convinced me that he got mauled by a bear.
Yeah, it was a crazy scene.
And he acted the rest of him. Oh, and the makeup, for his wounds look amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, no, the making of the movie is, as I think about it, it's probably even more impressive than the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, soundtrack was really unique too, where they could have easily gone for maybe a more traditional soundtrack, but they had these use of synths of different instrumentation that really pulls you in a unique way.
Yeah. My only detractors from it is it was long. I found it a little bit boring at times. Obviously there's not much of a it's kind of like a man's movie.
Yeah, no, definitely male centered.
Yes.
Only women characters in this movie are the chieftain's daughter and Leo's character's wife, and they're both maybe not the most progressive
it's a masculine movie, which isn't a bad thing, but it's just at times I was kind of found it, just a little bit boring.
Yeah, I thought the movie was. I definitely felt the length of the movie, but I definitely usually when a movie feels long, I don't. I enjoyed that it took its time. I enjoyed those moments where maybe it was a bit slower, and the cinematography and everything of it really did help me to enjoy that more. But I felt the length, but I enjoyed sitting with it a bit. But it is a movie where not a lot's happening. There's points in time where not a lot is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in a weird way, I enjoyed what the movie did in that way. But I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Revenant. I'm glad we got to see it.
Yeah,
It was
that's
cool.
Ultimately that's how I feel about it. It's I'm just glad we got to see it in a nice format. I'm glad we got to see it in IMAX. Since it really just highlighted the cinematography of the whole movie, and it looked really, really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the care. I think the the characters were pretty fully realized. I understood.
Yeah.
I understood the characters very well. The plot's just the plot is very very simple, and that I guess gives opportunity for other things to breathe. But yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
All right. What was the next one?
The next movie we'll talk about, which we saw on Friday evening, is Pillion from 2025. This movie is directed by Harry Lighton. This is his first feature directorial film. The cast includes Harry Melling, I put Harry Selling, and Alexander Skarsgård. The film is based off of a book, Box Hill, by Adam Mar Jones, and the film has won several awards at Cannes and several other minor film awards. It currently sits at a 3.6 on Letterboxd. I rated it a 5, and you rated it a 4.
I did.
So this movie came out last year. It's been out for a while in England, and I've been waiting forever, it feels like, to be able to finally go see it. And yeah, we finally got it here, and to me it really lived up to the expectation in my head that I had. It obviously, it's about a BDSM biker gang, gay biker gang, and it's all dominant and submissive relationship with kind of a timid younger
less experienced,
and I don't want to say ugly, but less attractive man, and which is Harry Melling's character, Colin.
He's not turning heads on the sidewalk.
Yeah. And then obviously a much more attractive, older, more dominant, more mysterious man, which is Alexander Skarsgård's character, which is Ray, and sort of explores Colin's life, going through this relationship, figuring out what he enjoys and how he feels about this type of relationship, and some of the boundaries that comes with that, with being submissive and also dominant. And yeah, I really, really, really liked it. Obviously, it's intentional that there's an attractiveness gap between the two of them.
Yeah.
Because that plays into the submissive and dominance of it all. There's a scene where Colin's showing one of his co-workers a picture of Alexander Skarsgård's character Ray.
How'd you bag him?
Yeah, and she's like, how do you manage to get a man like that? And Colin's like, I have an aptitude for devotion. And that's sort of what this whole thing is about, is that sort of what he lacks in the way he looks, he makes up for in how devoted he is to this person. And that's really romantic. It's also based in a small town in England. So it's funny to see, Alexander Skarsgård walking through Bromley, a small town. There's a part where when they first met, he gives him a note that's meet me at this Primark. It's just funny to see this small town. Makes
you think of home.
Yeah, it does a bit.
Do you know, what does pillion mean, or what's the context here?
Pillion is, I actually looked this up. Pillion is the back seat of the motorbike.
Ah, okay.
So what all the submissives
ride on. That's fitting.
On the bike.
I was curious. I thought they'd always wait for a little title drop sequence, but that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I enjoyed the movie a lot. I really enjoyed that it used this atypical kind of relationship dynamic from maybe the norm to explore very relatable, very ubiquitous, very these are the things that to explore, things like boundaries, things like what you like, things. Every relationship is individual.
Yeah.
Even these ones that on the surface, they play with it, they joke with it, that like, he's he's dominant, he's a little and he's submissive, and like they tell little kind of jokes that kind of they it's played straight, but it's like, presented as humor sometimes to try to almost not trick, but to kind of catch you off guard, and you got just how personal, just how normal this this relationship isn't like something crazy. This is a relationship the same as what you might have with your partner, with any partner. This is just a relationship, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing magical or not. It's not nothing magical. There's nothing mystical about it in the same way that just because it's maybe it's atypical or a fetish based. It's a relationship between two people with preferences.
Yeah, and it's not as if they're like one party of the like one of the parties is like unconsenting, or like this is both like what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, the Colin, you get his character sort of exploring what he does want out of a BDSM relationship. He still wants to be in that more submissive role.
Yeah.
But that's like a theme of the movie, is the exploring what his boundaries are and what he wants from this kind of relationship. And a spoiler for the ending. Obviously, you go through this movie. You want them to both sort of work out the relationship and stay together. There's clear that there's like feelings for each other there, despite maybe them not being the type of feelings that you can build a whole relationship on, like a real meaningful, like together forever kind of relationship from.
And scenes maybe even rewinding just a bit from the ending, just kind of that kind of final like moment before that schism, but that where it feels like there's a true kind of schism between the two, where Colin, he really is pushing his boundaries. He's asking very clearly and in very unsubmissive way, like, hey, I want to try this. I feel like I might need this. And Alexander Skarsgård's character
like
Ray
needs his day off.
Yeah, his day regarding his kind of day off.
Yeah, it's essentially like a 24/7 BDSM relationship that they're in. So yeah, you like ask straight up if he could have like
and
a day off from the dynamic a week.
And Ray very clearly just shoots it down straight up. No real room for negotiation in this conversation between them. Colin kind of crashes out, yada yada, runs away. Kind of had me on my edge of my seat a little. I was a little scary about to get like
it was like on the edge of your seat kind of thing.
But then when he comes back, they end up having this day off, and there's an interesting tension throughout the whole kind of sequence on their day off.
Yeah.
Where part of me is unsure. Part of me was unsure just how genuine both Ray and even Colin are kind of being. Are they doing things? Are each of them maybe doing something a little differently just to do something a little differently? Is it and they're both exploring. They're both testing their kind of boundaries. They're both. It's a little hard to read Roy because he's
Ray.
Ray. Yeah, it's a little harder to read him a little because he is just more, maybe not guarded, just less personal, less forthcoming with maybe some more personal details, and so they're as in thinking about it, they're both kind of testing their little boundaries, trying different things, and anything you want to say on their kind of day off a bit? Anything you were thinking before and then eventually they kind of get to that conflict, this last kind of moment on their day off, their last real interaction, and
but at this point in the movie, you don't know that it's going to be their last interaction.
Yes.
Like, obviously, there's still that
Mm-hmm.
thing where you're, like, hoping, like, oh, this day is gonna have been a positive experience for both of them, and
Yes.
it'll, work out for them.
Yeah, and they kiss.
Which hasn't happened.
Yeah, they very explicit. They have not kissed. It's very clear that like Ray is probably not into it, and
Yeah,
he's
it's
not.
kissing's
Yeah.
like an intimate romantic thing, and that kind of doesn't seem like they're kind of dynamic, even despite that Colin would like that.
Yeah.
But it isn't their current dynamic.
Mm-hmm. And so they have that moment. They look into each other's eyes, and then the movie kind of hits you.
Yeah.
And Colin's alone.
Yeah.
He's with his dad. He's looking for Ray. Ray is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's like visiting all the spots that he used to visit, asking around, seeing if anybody seen him. And nobody's seen him. He's just clearly like up and left. And, it's kind of that thing where you question whether did Ray ever really have feelings for Colin, or was it the thought of that he did have feelings for him that scared him off, and he was like, I can't do this. And instead of, trying to end things amicably or work something out, he just, he just disappeared and left without telling him anything.
Ray's a really hard character to read, where that last day can be interpreted a lot of ways on Ray's side. I feel like we know what Colin's thinking.
Yeah.
Ray, I'm really a mystery. Like, for Ray, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did he always intend for this relationship with Colin to never... did he always know this wasn't going to last? And this was him simply teaching Colin, giving him first relationship? Was this last day like kind of a punishment?
Yeah.
Was it a reward? Was he actually just trying it genuinely, and then he got too emotionally invested and scared and ran? I actually saw an AMA from the director on Reddit, and he said very plainly, he did that thing where he wanted to keep it ambiguous. We don't know what Ray was necessarily thinking, and we can all draw our own conclusions. And I think that's really one of the strongest points of this movie, where we're kind of forced to be like Colin and be like, we'll never really know exactly. We can all have our ideas. We don't know exactly what Ray was thinking. All we can do is just move forward.
Yeah, and that's like sort of what the conclusion of the movie leaves you with, is that Colin's now seeking out other relationships and, being very upfront with what he's wanting and the boundaries that he has.
More confident.
Yeah, more confident. And, he like makes a Grindr profile and basically sets out in his bio like, oh, I'm never gonna cut my hair for someone, because he shaved his head in his previous relationship.
And
with
honestly,
Ray.
his mom, bless her soul, was right. That was his best feature.
Yeah, and he like says like, I require a day off a week, and it's non-negotiable. Like, and he ends up meeting someone at the end, as, again, sort of someone who's like athletic and good looking.
It's very coming of age in that way.
Yeah, like,
and then, obviously it counts like maybe 30, maybe like late 20s. It's very coming of age, for someone kind of coming into their own.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, it's just like the ending's like, no matter what happens in a relationship, you can always take it as like a learning curve of like learning more about yourself and what you want out of life and what you want in a partner and how you want to be treated by your future partners. So obviously the heartbreak of losing someone who you really cared about is always going to hurt, but once you're over the pain of it, you can use it as a learning curve, and you can put out what you really want into the world and meet people who will treat you that way, and who, it becomes a more healthy relationship with your future partners.
Yeah, no, this movie, Alexander Skarsgård and a lot of the advertising, they market it as like they've been marketing it as a dom-com.
Yeah.
And it is in a way, but it's so much more heartfelt than I anticipated based off the marketing.
Yeah,
that's very genuine.
Yeah, it's like it's a very heartfelt movie, and it's not just purely about sex. It's not like a 50 Shades of Grey.
They're so kinky,
but gay kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like no, it's like it has a real message, a real heartfelt meaning, and it's really good. Like that's all I can really say. Is like I absolutely love this movie. I love the dynamics it explores. I love. It's again, not to continue to shit on 50 Shades of Grey, but like, it's a real research BDSM movie where like, you can tell that the director and the people involved have like really involved themselves in these communities, and it's not just throw some handcuffs on these people and questionable consent. It's like, no, it's a real it's a real heartfelt project.
Yeah,
and it really shows.
The movie had no interest in showing this community as a bunch of
weird
stereotypes,
like
a bit of a bunch of archetypes, a bunch of jokes. No, we see this gang. They're all individuals and while the relationship dynamics are similar, they're all different. They're all individuals. They all have their own kind of story that we're kind of be able to infer. And it's a really genuine movie. I enjoyed it. It's one of those movies that's like I put it as a 4, but could easily go to a 4.5.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it the same way that I probably enjoyed Materialist in a way where like what I kind of take away from is like it's a movie about people thinking about what they want.
Yeah,
and
like
thinking about what's truly important to them.
And like
realizing that
going through the trials and the tribulations of trying to find love and trying to be loved. It's really special, I think, and I'm really glad that we actually finally got to see it in the movie theater.
Yeah, very solid. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah. Then we're ready to go on to the last one. Yeah. Actually, I might use the restroom.
Okay. All right. So the last film that we're going to talk about, I told you this episode was going to be a quick one, was How to Make a Killing from 2026. This film is directed by John Patton Ford. I did have a quick look, and I'm like not familiar with any of his other work. It stars Glenn Powell and Margaret Qualley as like the main sort of characters. There is other actors not that I'm too familiar with.
Yeah, I feel like I recognize his love interest.
And it currently sits at a 3.3 on Letterboxd. I rated it a 2, and you rated it a 2.5.
Yeah.
Off the bat, this movie is like nothing to like write home about.
Yeah, it didn't nothing particularly really hit for me. It's one of those movies where I'm having trouble kind of thinking of its strong points, and I guess the strong points are the performances were all solid, but plot wise, theme wise, I felt like it was messy. I felt like it wasn't quite sure what it was.
Yeah, even at that, like, not to discredit like the actors or anything, but it's not as if they were like given anything hard to really like work with.
I think there's a lot. I think this movie put a lot on Glenn Powell's shoulders with a script that wasn't there to match, where it wanted him to both be charismatic, both be desperate, be this leading man, be this loving character. This character is meant to wear all these hats, and I don't think the script was quite right to really bring that out of Glenn Powell in that way.
Yeah.
I think this movie this whole movie rests on the strength of its main character, and I think the movie plot-wise didn't want to commit to maybe some of the darker elements that it kind of sprinkled throughout the film to really let Glenn Powell have a chance at giving like a nuanced performance of this like psychopath, of this I say psychopath in in quotes, because they dance around these questions like he's supposed to be this near American Psycho type of character, but like it's like doesn't seem like his heart's really in it. So at that point, I'm like, well, you're not really crazy. You're just kind of doing stuff.
It's like it obviously it has the themes of like him being this like killer, but at no point does it really make you feel like he thinks he's but really truly believes he's a killer, and he never like wrestles with either the idea of the guilt that he's caused of killing these people, or the like if he doesn't feel this guilt, the like more like, you know, psychosis of having the ability to take these lives, despite the fact that, you know, they are rich people and he's lived like this life that
in the orphanage system,
but like he's kind of like he kind of like comes across as like
comes across a regular Joe Schmo.
Yeah,
where, like,
and it's he hasn't killed someone.
Yeah,
like it is quite bizarre.
Yeah, where,
in
like,
that way,
like you said, they have him do this thing where he kills people and he doesn't feel guilty, but the movie doesn't really sit with that idea.
Yeah,
it's just like he kills people. Like, oh wow, he doesn't feel guilty. It doesn't like play around as like, oh yeah, and then he kind of like moved on, and like he felt like he's like you think I'd feel bad, wouldn't I? And then just kind of moves on to the next plot point where instead of letting us kind of sit with, oh dang, something might not be right with this guy, the whole time you're like, oh yeah, this is like a regular, he's acting like a regular guy. The movie doesn't like shine this light to show him in this darker way.
Yeah, it's like you never, like I was like saying, like, and like you would like saying, like, it's like we never wrestle with the guilt he feels for killing these people, but then we never really see the reason why he experiences no guilt, and it really is like played as to be this like, yeah, he's really like showing it to the rich, but you're still like, he's still killing people.
And the thing is, like, he's
people that, like, despite the fact that they're in his family, people that he's never met.
Yeah, and frankly, like, half of them, like, they don't hurt anybody.
Yeah,
like half of them actually
they're just
whatever.
Rich assholes.
Yeah, like the artist guy, like,
yeah,
sure. It kind of, despite how much agency this character kind of has, it kind of feels like things are just
and then he also like steals the artist guy's girlfriend.
I was gonna like. Thing is, he didn't need to kill him to do that. She was gonna break up with him anyway. Like this movie, so it plays around this idea of him being a bad guy. Like, oh, he steals his cousin's girlfriend. Oh, but she's gonna leave him anyway. Oh, he's got to kill all the family members, even the uncle that got him this job and has made his life better. Oh wait, he doesn't really have the heart to kill him. Oh, he feels sad about it. He feels guilty about wanting to kill his uncle. And doesn't even need to do it, so he never really has to be conflicted with that very kind of conflicting feeling. If he had ended up killing his benefactor character, then maybe this movie would have had an opportunity to kind of show that. But the movie kind of takes the easy way. It's like, oh, he had a heart attack. Make sure to treasure what's important in this life. And then
but then by the end of the movie, it's like he doesn't do that anyway. He's living a nice life. He still has this really nice job that his uncle gave him, and bear in mind, the only person now standing in the way between him and this family's fortune is his old ass grandpa.
Yeah, he's like 87. Yeah, the guy was born. I remember he was born in 1939. I did the math.
Old ass grandpa.
Yeah.
So he then gets a letter from his grandpa on the day of his engagement party, being like telling him to come and meet him for the first time. And he, like, actually goes.
I feel like, we don't... It didn't really make sense for him to go, to be honest.
I mean, I guess, the whole thing of why he goes is because...
He's angry about his mom.
And Margaret Qualley's character.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she has, like, evidence that he's done all these killings, and she basically blackmails him.
Yeah, and
like, he's got a good job. I'm sure there's some way that he'd be able to, like, and he's working in like the finance district of New York. I'm sure there's some way he could have like gotten, like, she only asks, like, not to be like only asks because it's a lot of money, but like in terms of like where he's working and like the people he's associated with, she only asked for like $350,000.
Like,
So, like, I'm sure there is, like, sure he could have done, like, shady dealings or whatever everyone else in the freaking building that he's working at is probably doing, and got her that money somehow without, you know, essentially ruining his life.
to be fair to the movie, like Margaret Qualley's character at that point is just like, oh, I tried to be nice. Now we're doing it this way. So at this point, she's kind of, I guess the movie is at this point saying, oh, she's actually the crazy one.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense since, like, he's the one who's killed people.
Yeah, but like it's like at some point, I think maybe after he kills like the four-person, kind of feels like things are just happening to him.
Yeah.
Oh, his uncle dies. That happened to him. Oh, Margaret Qualley's character starts blackmailing. That happens to him. Oh, his grandpa finally invites him over. That happens to him. Oh, his grandpa tries to kill him. Oh, that just happens to him instead of him making these choices.
And also, he's telling this story. So, like, he could be the one who's like, yeah, she's a crazy bitch.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that.
The whole movie is a narration. Yeah, the whole thing is narrated and told by Glenn Powell's character. I don't even remember. I
remember the
second. What's his name? Brackett.
Who?
Glenn Powell's character.
Beckett.
Brackett.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like told.
Yeah.
And so then this adds to the whole, like, sort of strangeness of the story. Is like it's being told by, like, a cheeky
it shows
version of himself.
Yeah, and the second the movie started, I was almost thrown off from this, like, framing device, this narration device, because it's just like it was. And then he goes on to tell this like a cheesecake story. He goes on to tell like a cheesecake story, which is fine sometimes, except for when you're trying to do this whole like, oh, he kills people. He's kind of a psychopath, but
yeah,
you know, he's in front of a priest giving his confession. He just kind of sounds like a normal guy.
Yeah,
frankly, like he kill people, but like it's not just. It doesn't feel disturbing. It doesn't feel like the movie's kind of exploring this. It kind of feels like things are just happening instead of kind of letting us sit with it. And I think it tries. I think maybe the comedy of the movie just didn't hit as hard as it wanted to. Maybe it wanted to be more of a funny movie, and maybe the jokes didn't land as hard as they needed to for me. Like I like the idea of the cute little jump cuts to the funerals. That was cute.
Yeah.
But a lot of maybe it was trying to be more of a comedy than it was. Then it worked for me, and it just didn't quite do it. But I feel like there's a good movie somewhere in here, but tonally I just don't know what it was going for.
Me neither. And like it just falls flat. It's boring. You know, it just doesn't work for me. And you know, the main thing that I can say that was a positive is that the soundtrack was fun. It had like a lot of sort of 80s synths in it, and it was like it was a fun soundtrack.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it was just like so surface level and basic of what semblance of a message that it was trying to put across, and I just couldn't get behind it.
Yeah, I'll say I didn't think it was boring per se, but I didn't feel like I got much out of it. I enjoyed it a little bit, but I have no desire to watch it again.
Yeah.
I thought it was just okay. I could recommend it to a couple people I think would enjoy it. But it's just it didn't do much for me, and I had trouble discerning exactly what it wanted to say.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's like
I guess like he was billionaire brained, and that's like a disease, but like honestly, he didn't really seem like he was about it at the end of it all. He really wasn't about it like that. He wanted his fiance. He wanted that relationship. He liked his uncle. He wasn't that much of a freak.
Yeah. And it's like in this kind of movie, it's like you really need to do all or nothing. Like
there's there's a chance for like, you know, a moment of, oh dang, he's changed. Like if he had ended up killing his uncle, maybe that. But then the whole back half of the movie would have been completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and like not even talking about like I when his grandpa starts trying to kill him, I was just like, oh, okay, I guess he's crazy.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Like when he goes and visits his grandpa's like gives him a gun, is like, shoot me right here. And then like obviously Glen Powell doesn't do it for some reason. So then Grandpa
Because he
like
still has a soul.
yeah,
I don't
Grandpa
know.
starts chasing him with this gun.
It's a cute little sequence, I guess, but I had trouble. I don't know if the grandpa figured out that he had killed the other people. Was like, I'm gonna get you before you get me.
Yeah, I think he had.
Yeah. I don't know, man. He did his mom dirty. I don't know. Like, maybe they should have talked more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it kind of.
Also,
like
some of the
more...
deaths were cute. Like the little like ones where he was like when he'd poison people, and it's like this ingredient is commonly found in protein shakes. You add a little bit more, and they die.
Yeah. They're cute, but
they're cute.
I feel like there really was a potential for a really, really great movie in here, but it's nothing went as far as it needed to go.
Yeah.
It didn't go as far. It didn't, and you know, if it wanted to be like a straight comedy, maybe tell better jokes. If it wanted to be this that kind of dark exploration of a character study of someone that just can't get enough, that just wants wealth to want wealth, which it toys with the idea, like when he's talking to his future fiance, like, oh, why? What do you mean stop? What do you mean like enough? What then? What if I get $1 billion? What then? Explore that. What, you know? What's his idea? Like, we just know he wants to be rich, and being rich is awesome. And we know that because he tells us. And
we
else.
like we literally there's literally like a moment that's like hilarious where like Glen Powell's character's like, yeah, and like let's get this out of the way. Money does make you happy. It's like,
yeah, let's be adults
like,
here.
we all know this already.
Yeah, like, well, he was like, all right, let's be adult. Money does make you happy. Let's be adults here. It was cute. I thought it was.
I don't know. I thought it was corny. It's like, you don't need to tell the room of adults who've seen a movie called How to Make a Killing that's about Glen Powell killing people to get rich, that money does make you happier.
I thought it was kind of funny. He was telling it to the priest.
Yeah, I thought
it was funny. He was telling it to the priest.
It was corny, but
I think is I would have been fine if the movie leaned into this corniness, just wanted to be like a corny comedy that's about the absurdness of him doing this thing. But the movie wasn't absurd. It wasn't crazy. If it wanted to be an absurdist kind of comedy, I would have been down for it. If it wanted to be like an American Psycho kind of character exploration, I would have been down for that. If it wanted to be like a thriller, I wouldn't be down for that. But it was trying to wear all these different hats, and they're all just like leaning off the top of the movie's head instead of like strapped on. So
yeah.
I liked the little bits it tickled, but I really the whole movie left me wanting more. Is really how I felt.
No, I agree, and it just.
I could tell there's talent. I could tell there was talent in the movie.
It just wasn't enough to make, not the talent, but like the whole movie just wasn't enough to leave a real impression on me. It felt like, and then like, yeah, by the time I got out, I was like, man, it just felt like a whole sort of lot of nothing that I'd just watched.
Sorry, the song's in my head in the trailer.
But yeah, it was like a whatever film. It's like a film. That's all I can say. It's a film.
When the movie ended, I really, really like my thoughts when the movie ended was like, I wish that was better.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, like I really, really, really wanted to like it. Wanted to like it more. I liked it just okay, and that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, me too.
Any other further thoughts on that one?
Not particularly, no. Yeah. I just wasn't particularly a fan, but it's not as if it's bad.
Yeah.
It was just boring.
I didn't think it was boring. I thought it was alright, but it just didn't. It lacked substance.
Yeah.
That's how I felt, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean by boring, is it like lacked substance. Like, it just didn't do anything.
It tried to be cute, but it didn't want to go on. It tried to be serious and go on that. It tried to be exciting, but even then, it wanted to sit with their own with like the mundanity, the mundane of just kind of day to day and enjoying life. It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do you feel like we've?
Yeah. I've been satisfied.
Yeah, me too. So yeah, sorry it's a little bit of a shorter episode. We didn't see as much this week, but we're hoping to get back on her movie theater grind next week.
I'm seeing Goat.
what do we have? Yeah, what do we have on the docket for next week?
So, rattling off the movies I wanna try hit up our goats. Throw in for a little loop. The Pretty Derby Uma Musume, the horse racing girl anime movie. I think it'd be fun to see. Be fun, give me a good shake up. Then into Hoppers, the new Pixar movie.
I'm excited,
very excited for
Hoppers.
that.
I'm excited for
And
Hoppers.
very animation heavy week we got ahead. And then on we'll also see The Bride. I've seen people down on The Bride. I don't know why.
Yeah, me
it's got
neither.
Jesse Buckley. It's got Christian Bale. It's telling a Frankenstein. It's a Frankenstein / Bride retelling. Exciting. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal. It's directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. I don't know why more people aren't excited about this, but I did see a couple first impressions. No reviews out yet. I saw a couple of first impressions. It's only made me more excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
And then on Saturday we may have Titan.
Yeah,
as well.
So excited for that again with Uncomfortable Brunch.
Yeah, Uncomfortable Brunch at the Sunray Cinema. So it should be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
All right. That wraps up our little discussion for the movies we've seen at the theatre this week. And we just told you what we're planning to see next week. So tune in next week to see what we're talking about and what films we did see. Thank you for watching. Guys, tell us if you like our name that we settled on. I'm Freya. This is Kalani. This is Large Butter Popcorn. We're gonna try and do this every single week. So keep tuned. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us if you've seen the movies we've seen. Tell us what movies you're looking forward to over the next week. Anything you think that we should check out. And yeah, we will be back next week. So thank you again.
All right. Out.
All right. Bye.